Hey everyone, my name's David Fisher and this is In the First Place Astrology. Today with me I've got Dhee from Sunchilde Tarot. Hi Dhee, how you doing?
Hey, how are you doing?
Nice, nice. Good to have you here. It's nice to switch places from time to time. Now I'm the one hosting this thing and it's nice to have a change. But are you comfortable there in the left side square of the
It
Zoom call?
just feels weird. I'm in the
Yeah.
wrong place. I'm sure I should be on
Yeah.
another channel somewhere.
Yes. We're not sure how he's going to deal without having to do the introduction, so we'll see as we go. But we had recorded a previous version of this video with Elsa. However, the files got corrupted and we couldn't post it. So now Dhee and I are doing this final version, a late final version of the Aries 3 Decan video. So before we start, I'd like to ask you guys if you're enjoying the content that we're putting out, that you subscribe to this channel. This really helps YouTube share this video through the algorithm to all the other users that might be interested, and share to your medias like your Facebook, Instagram and things like that if you like. And click on the like button, doesn't cost anything, it's really quick. If you can drop a comment as well, just drop a rose and a little flame if you want. We're going to tell you why in a bit. So, Dhee, could you just tell me really quickly what is the name that Thesis and Chain gives to the particular card that we're going to be associating with this Decan?
Lord of Completion.
The Lord of Completion, and that would be the Four of Wands, right? That's the primary card associated with the Decan, right? And this is what we are going to be talking about today. So before we dive in, I just want to shout out the Astro Collective page because it's a page where we've been posting this content and also other astrological contents that you might also be interested in. So do check that out. We have several very talented astrologers there putting out content every now and then so you can enhance your abilities with this particular doctrine. We're mostly Hellenistic in practice. D's a little bit more modern. So yeah, mostly. Shall we dive in? What other cards do we have, Dhee, associated with this deck? And it's the Four of Wands is the primary card, right? Lord of Completion.
It's a really interesting mix because obviously we have the Emperor for Aries itself, and this is a Venus Decan, so we have the Empress. So as an actual progression, we have what would be called in tarot reading terms a divine coupling with what is well known as the marriage or commitment card, or the paperwork and contracts as well. Do you want me to dive in with what I often see with this one?
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
Well, it's that point where you make the commitment. You think about a married couple, because they often say that this is a wedding celebration. But I am always drawn to the attention to, with it being a four, you've established a firm base. You've got the four corners of whatever it is that you're going to do. But if you look at the card, if I can get the camera to actually register it, then it's very much looks like a doorway that you are passing through. Now, if you think a wedding or signing a contract or making that agreement, that is not the end of the matter. That is the end of the beginning, which is very much plays in with that whole idea of a Lord of Completion, as in you are starting, you've done all your prep work. You've got to the point where you go, this is where we're here now. This is what I'm committing to. When we've had the 2 and 3 of Wands beforehand, we've been making choices. We've been waiting for our ships to come in. We've been suffering from boredom to a certain extent, going, where am I going to go next? Where am I going to go next? And this card is the aha, I've got it. I am putting myself, life and soul, on this path, which we have that determination of the Emperor that is turning around going, right, yep, I'm not shifting. This is the direction I'm going, and we're going to see results.
And these results, they come from this divine coupling that you were saying, because when you marry really action with the resources, right? You have someone creating something, like you have someone envisioning something and being able to put it to use for the community and also for themselves, just being able to make some kind of steady flow where they keep getting the resources to keep acting the way they need to. So if you think about, as Dhee was saying, this is the finalization of the beginning process. So it's as if now we have the foundations, we can erect a building. Now we have the basic structure of a house. Now we can make it look as a home, you know, as the home that we envisioned. We can put its personality to it or something. It's just this continuum of action, of attitude, you know, and you see results because you get to this point where you see validation from all around you, but you see the work is not finished. You see that you'll have to continue, and thus the equilibrium between Aries and Venus is dictated there. Like Venus is debilitated in Aries, but Mars kind of benefits from that Venusian presence in that decan, in the sense that you've reached stability enough. Remember, Wands is still a suit of action, so you've reached stability enough to keep acting in the way that you want, more assertively, understanding that you need to be in, what do you say, balance with your environment, right? And with the resources that you have available to be able to keep acting the way you want and manifesting what you need. And you just keep doing it, yeah.
The word I want to pick up on there is that you have stability enough.
Yes, enough.
Because as we said, it's because another point I want to point out with the Emperor, as well as the inherent stubbornness and that sense of action, it is also responsibility. If you are looking after an empire, there is a heavy weight on your shoulders. So to be paired with the Empress here means that you are being given the tools, you are being given the resources, the ability to fulfill those responsibilities which you have signed up for. So there's been exploration up until this point with the 2 and the 3 of Wands to go, right, okay, well, let's take it for, say you're job hunting. You are looking for what responsibilities you want to take on board. And how many times have we read a job advert, the title gets our interest, and we go, oh, that looks interesting. And we read the job description, we go, no, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not being responsible for that. You know, there's multiple times where I've been put into a position where I've ended up going back to the employer, you want me to be responsible for what? On these wages. So there's a
Yes.
a reference to the Empress again, how gifted we are, how much gifts she gives forward, because there's an interesting dissonance between these two in this sign. The Empress here is representing the planet, the Emperor is representing a sign. The Emperor is creating the field, and the Empress is the one putting things there and looking after that field. So it's not Venus in Aries, it's not her favorite place to be, but there is chance that she'll have a whale of a time while she's there, but she'll also have a whale of a time when she just goes, and thank God that's over.
Yes, I mean, it's not the Venusian ideal to be unstable as Aries provides, you know, as it's not the ideal for Mars to be in a, you know, everlasting, joyful state. Mars deals well with change, with chaos, you know. When you have a good, strong Mars, it means that you're going to have pretty chaotic scenarios in your life that you're going to deal with like a boss, you know. That's just all it means. Not that you're exempted from those scenes. But with the Venus, I like that the commitment that you have to make within this Aries decan. It debilitates Mars a little bit. They are opposites, right? But it's like that, yes, I need to use Venus to manifest in the level of the decans here. It's the face that the planet in that decan put on in the Martian scenario. And it's like, I know I have to make commitments. I wish I didn't, but I know I have to in order to be able to keep doing what I'm doing. It's like that lease contract that you wish you didn't have to make in order to keep your business afloat, but you do it anyway because you know you can't keep going without it, you know?
There's also that point that you were saying about the changeability with Mars and with Aries, because what you are reacting to will change and will keep changing, but the responsibilities here are remaining the same. But how you perform them, there's no one size fits all solution for anything. So if you're in a customer service role, you will know that you'll have heard in your training, every customer is different. So you're doing the same thing, but in a different way, reacting in a different way, or acting in a different way for each individual circumstance. So you've got both that change and the consistency all together there.
Yeah, definitely can speak to that, having worked in customer service for quite a while. But I mean, you do have to have that. You do have to have, and it's amazing what you're saying, because that's exactly it. You have an everlasting, an ever-changing, actually, row of clients that each will have their own personalities, each will have their own impetus. Each one will curse you in a different manner. And you have to be able to deal with that according to the company's policy, right? You've made a commitment to that company that you would represent them in that way, and you have to have that balance. It's amazing. Yeah, it's a really good analogy. But another thing is that those ever-changing circumstances, they guarantee that this is just the beginning of the second phase of the thing, or just the end of the beginning, because you don't have this celebratory stance forever. You can't really maintain these compromises that you make at the Four of Wands forever, unless it is something like customer care service. Something like that could be kept for a very long time. But you see how Venus can be tired, as Dhee was saying, after a while. I'm glad it's over. I mean, I need a little stability here.
That same image is actually translated through the angels related with this decan. When it comes to rulerships, then angels and demons both have 5 degrees of the decans each. Now we start, so we're going into the party, we're walking up the here comes the bride, wedding music is going, or you're going to the notary's office to get this signed and witnessed, or what have you. And this is for the first 5 degrees of this decan, is ruled by the angel Mahasiya. Mahasiya's taglines, for want of a better phrase, rectification, putting things right, helps one live in peace with everyone. So we've come into that stage of agreement. But as we said, if we're looking at this as the celebration card, the party can't go on forever, because it's not a party if it's constant. If you've ever worked in a pub or a nightclub, you know exactly what I mean by that, because you can have a great time once in a while, but otherwise it's just work. And that's the second quinance of the decan, which is ruled by Lelahel, which is not showing up on the camera whatsoever. Now, Lelahel is about the light of understanding, about acquiring knowledge. So there's the signing up, now you've decided what you want, and then there's that moment when it dawns on you what it means that you've done. Which I think is a beautiful statement about that journey, ready for when you're going into Taurus. It's like, right, now we're doing it now. There's that earthy getting on with things. Now, in the demons on the quinances, we have Marbas, who reveals things. So again, there's the idea of revealing secrets. There's the idea of once I sign on this dotted line, it's going to mean this, this, and this. And some of it you're going to know in advance, and some of it will be revealed by the moment what have I signed myself up for here? Mm-hmm. But Valifor, which is that second quinance, is one thing he's known for is serving as an excellent familiar. So you are working in service to that agreement that you have made. So at what point are you still in control? It's Aries. Of course you're in control. Or of course you think you're in control because you signed that agreement. But it's like when you're self-employed, who's your boss? Are you your boss, or is the customer the boss? So you've still, as much as I want to be independent, you've hemmed yourself in a little by committing. But then again, if we don't commit, nothing will get done whatsoever.
And I love what you're saying, because now I want to come in with the end of each cardinal sign being the 4 of each suit. Because you have at the end of each cardinal sign, which is that beginning quality of the zodiac, they're energetic signs, they're impulsive signs, they're beginners. They have a really hard time. Ask any cardinal sun or rising up there, they have a really hard time on beginning anything and finishing or getting through with it. They get an ideal at first, they move everything in order to start the plan. But as soon as the first blocks start coming in, or as soon as they get used to this idea within the 4, as soon as the thing stabilizes enough for them to see a future with it, be it, productive or unproductive, they quit and they become used to it, and thus it becomes not so interesting anymore because it doesn't have that energy of beginning, and so they drop it. And so I love what you're saying, because at the end of Aries, which the previous 2 decans were all about doing what I want with the resources that are around me as I view them as my own, and as I take up on them as if they were entitlement. Now you still kind of have that Aries entitlement, but you see that that's nothing if you don't have some agreement, if you don't have some compromise, if you don't have some stability in your actions, if you don't have a long-term plan and things like that. And all the cardinal signs come to the realization at the last decan with the tarot associations with the 4s, that in order for you to have a long-lasting thing, a long-term thing, you need to get to that stable point of keep doing that for some time. Otherwise, you might as well just drop it at this level,
This song, one of the many songs called Crazy, spring to mind with that. Do you really think you're in control?
Mm-hmm.
But there's 2 shadow sides with this as well, which is decans, as I think I said on the Aries one, are also ruled by day and by night by different Goetic spirits. So by day, we have Visago in Bloodstone Tarot's Occult Tarot, Bloodstone Studios Occult Tarot. It's the Tower card here. But Visago is very much a promoter of discord. So here, does the agreement work, or is it going to break down? And it can break down at the first hurdle, and maybe that contract never gets signed, or there's that moment of you've signed it and you think, oh Christ, what have I done?
If you use reversals, in the tarot, like you can have that kind of energy with the 4 of Wands, like not being able at all to work out an agreement between parts, because there's it's kind of like the 5 of Wands, but without so much of the bickering at first.
Yes, because everyone's absolute in their position. There's just this, oh no, not going there, not signing up with you, no, not a chance.
Yes.
Which is not at all being so firm and certain, not at all an Aries quality, is it?
It would be the shadow side of Venus, really, to be not passive aggressive, but just like, no, I'm in the right, I'm in my own righteous mind. I don't need to move in order to get, it's that stuck up, tight energy.
Now, by night, it is ruled by the spirit Malphas. Now, Malphas is famous for building houses and high towers. He destroys an enemy's thoughts and desires and all they have built. There's the other shadow side. You have committed to this. Have you committed to this and left space for the rest of your life? Or have you committed to this at the expense of everything else? Like when you sign up for that job that starts at 4 in the morning and doesn't finish till 11 at night, well, you did have a family last week until you signed up for this. You did have the chance to eat and exercise and keep healthy and have medical care and see your parents and receive and give affection, and not anymore. So again, there's that shadow side of that pushing forward, and to a point, that shadow side of too much responsibility with the Emperor.
Yeah, and tying that to what we were saying in the other video with Elsa and Katie, on the major associations of this Decan, we were discussing how the 36, I think it was 36 Faces with Austin Kopic. He was saying that in this particular Decan, or was it T. Susan Cheng? I don't remember. You guys have to check that out on Elsa's channel. The link will be down below. And in that video, we go about how one of them associate this with the struggle of keeping those agreements up, and how that can be detrimental to someone. Like, yes, you're committing. Are you over-committing, perhaps? Or just how committed are you to this? Is it to your detriment? Is it not? You know, that the issue is constantly raised with this because of the Venus stability, I believe, in this Decan, the dissonant energies of these two planets.
Those day and night spirits of the Decan definitely typify that polarity of it could go wrong this way or it could go wrong this way.
And with that cheerful note, we'll leave you guys to no. But seriously though, we are coming to a close of this. I love everything that we've discussed. We really were able to take a lot in this shorter version of the discussion of this particular video. I'd like to thank Dhee so much for being here with me today and having this discussion. And you always bring so much to the table with your spirit analysis, the demons and angels analysis, the Goetia, everything that you bring up when you're here in my channel. And when we are together in your channel talking about the new moon and full moon, by the way, stay tuned for the next eclipse new moon video in Dhee's channel. That's Sunchilde Tarot.
I'm so looking forward to that.
Can you tell us what you've been up to?
Well, as I said, I have just spent 2 weeks working on this one chart, but on the channel, there will be tarot readings at some point, but there are some more interviews coming up. If you have a look on Sunchilde Tarot, you'll find that there's quite a lot of interviews with, whether we're talking about magic, we've had D.H. Thorne, we've had Travis McHenry.
We've even talked about, we've even talked about comic charts, like the release for some specific comics like Superman. We've analyzed Superman's chart, Darkseid's chart. And it's
we never filmed the Superman talk.
We haven't. Oh, we should do that sometime. Stay tuned.
We so should do that.
Yeah.
Yes. we controlled on Darkseid because Darkseid is. But there's we also, I mean, as you know, I bill myself as a professor of woo-woo, and I've had a number of different guests. I love the astrology guests, but every so often it's nice to branch out into magic or alternative healing. I'm looking forward to having Nicole Stevens, a very gifted medium and healer who is concentrating on the essence of maintaining and developing your own inner vibration, in both in terms of healing and in terms of spiritual advancement. Hopefully that I had to cancel the interview because I got COVID, but hopefully that will happen again this month. So yeah, link is down below, everyone, because there's, like I was saying on my channel with David.
You're also available for personal readings, aren't you? The tarot readings.
Oh yeah, I do that too. Yeah. Good point.
You guys can look for Darren for tarot readings. I also offer them, so you can check my website out. You can check his material out, and we will also be doing this series within Elsa's channel, right? This is a companion series in my channel for that major series, so you guys should check the link down below for the previous videos. I'm going to put the Aries 3 one also in the description. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good...
If you join the Astro Collective page on Facebook, you will find a one-stop shop for all of our stuff. David's, mine, Elsa's, and the astrologers we're working with.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. Shout out to the Astro Collective again. So, we have met as a, how do you say, special guest in the new Taurus 1 video coming up that actually has just been posted by Elsa, I think, yesterday. So you guys should check out the Hellenistic Astrology video. Matt's channel is also going to be in the description, the Astrologer's Encyclopedia. And they are a wonderful astrologer that's been coming up with a lot of good content for you guys to learn. So check that out as well. I'll leave you to it then. So have a great rest of your day, whenever you're watching us. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Stay tuned.
See you later.
Cheers.